is the Chrissy Swan Show.
Hey, it's time for this.
Chrissy's Taste.com. You made it wrong. The strawberry doesn't go in the fish risotto. You always seem to get it wrong. In Taste.com.
I would happily throw to a song now because that
Segment's done.
The opener is magical. Now, if you are new to this segment, welcome. It is my favourite thing to do if I have a spare few minutes to open up my browser and type in taste.com.au, which is a fabulous recipe website that everybody uses. And I just like to peruse the reviews and see what little nuggets I can find.
Because Taste.com, this segment has taught me, really brings out the bonkers in people.
The best part of it is when someone makes a fish taco but uses raspberries and then complains.
Yeah.
Oh, these fish tacos were awful. I used raspberries instead of fish and I am at home on my browser just cackling. Here are a few of my favourites. Poll. On the recipe for lemon butter queen of puddings. I mean, that sounds fancy. She's given it 4 stars.
Okay.
And she says, I made mango queen of puddings for the funeral of the queen. So already, this is a recipe for lemon queen of puddings. A very different beast to a mango.
Yeah.
We dressed in black, donned the fake pearls and watched the telecast, just hoping that by the time Charles is crowned, we will be a republic. This is way too much information, Paul, by the way.
Chill out.
I did a mango version as I made mango butter from the coronation chicken we had as a main course. I mean, for a Republican, she's really giving the monarchy a go, isn't she?
Isn't she? Also, Paul, no one cares what your main was.
It was nice, but I don't think I'll make it again in a while. Mango butter was nice, though. Polly, you didn't follow the recipe.
Yeah, and nor did you, offer any information that will be useful for other users trying to cook.
Correct.
You're just giving, waxing lyrical about your own life.
Go away. The next one, Choc Guinness mud cake. Sounds good. Did you know that you can put Guinness and beer and stuff in different recipes?
No, I didn't know, especially in a mud cake.
Well, Karen found out the hard way. She goes, I love this recipe. It is great to give your girls this at book club! ! They loved it. But Shireen said it was too floury. God, I hate Shireen.
She actually wrote that.
She wrote that. Anyway, I am going to bring this to my lovely daughter's Bible study next week. Kiss, 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 Karen.
I mean, what 2 boring hobbies, book club and Bible study.
Way too much information, Karen. And also, I wanted Shireen to read this and go, oh, hate me, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, because
I poisoned your risotto.
sometimes they do comment back on taste.com this morning.
They do, and we will get to that. Let's go to the recipe of cornbread, one of the greats. Have you ever had cornbread or made it?
No, never.
Oh, my God, it's so
What would you
delicious.
have it with?
Butter.
Oh, so just a simple...
Butter, and it's sort of like a American, like a South American thing.
Okay.
Not South American, the South.
Yes,
American.
Yep.
But Govind79 says, terrible, absolutely terrible recipe. Even though he gave it 4 stars. It has a horrible taste that needs to be masked by condiments, etc. Cornbread should be delicious on its own. It has a very non-cornbread stench about it as well.
Gavin's accent really changed throughout that comment. I quite enjoyed it.
Now, Solfane says, why would you give it 4 stars then?
Fair call.
Fair call.
Fair question.
Now, I have to stop myself from logging in and replying to these reviews. But Jessie has absolutely taken my glory here. Let's go to a recipe for blueberry muffins. Girl says, I forgot to add the brown sugar because I was following step 3 and it didn't mention it. Jessie replied, couldn't help herself. Step 2 says to add sugar. Jessie's saying what everyone's thinking. Also on that recipe, 1 star from Lulu, who says, what a silly recipe. You have to add the blueberries last and fold them gently. My whole colour turned blue.
Wait, isn't the point of like a blueberry muffin to somewhat go blue?
Well, you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's blueberries involved,
Yeah.
yes. And Jessie, again, could not resist. The recipe tells you to do that.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Let's do this.
Chrissy'sTaste.com. You made it wrong, wrong, wrong. The strawberry doesn't go in the fish risotto. Always seem to get it wrong. In Taste.com.
Oh, yes, I've been trawling my favourite recipe website, taste.com.au.
Swanee, on the topic of food, can we jump on Taste and find a recipe with passion fruit in it? Because the scent of that passion fruit you are eating has just lightened my love for
I
passion
know,
fruit.
and do you know what? I think they're in season or something because I bought a big bag for $1 each. So they're worth looking into.
Yum.
Yes, I will bring in some passion fruits for you. Anyway, great recipes on taste.com.au. We don't need to tell you that, but even greater are the reviews from people that switch out ingredients or cook it half the time it's supposed to cook for and then leave a scathing review even though it was all their fault. Let's start here on a choc peppermint slice. A review by Elvin Hart, 99. Terrible recipe. While this was cooling on my kitchen bench, my husband asked why the lasagna had a green tinge to it.
It's Wicked themed, mate.
But it's a peppermint slice. Of course it's going to be green.
Correct. A lasagna, though, that's hilarious.
Can you imagine me living with a man that I was making a peppermint slice and he came out and said, why is the lasagna green?
It would end up on his face.
I would be like,
Smeared.
are you all right?
Get out,
Clearly a slice.
moron.
All right, let's move on to this one. This is almost an essay. Lemon syrup baked custard. It's been given 2 stars by Rank Amateur.
It looks rich, Swan. Ooh, I don't know if I'd like that.
He says, while I rated it 2 out of 5 as a matter of pride, my wife suggested that was generous. I mean, 7 points already, 10 points for giving it a go in the kitchen and trying to have a crack at a lemon syrup baked custard. That's what I say. He goes on to say, despite claiming that the recipe is so named to reflect its idiot-proofness, I assure you it met its match with me. This man's a beautiful writer. He put in too much milk, right? And then he says, at 55 minutes, I had a browning top and a base that was wetter than a month of Sundays on the East Coast.
He's quite poetic.
Very poetic. At 1:05, I had a slice I'll call the Peter Dutton. Bronzed on top, a little hard-edged, but really rather soft underneath it all. I will try again, though, and I will drop 1/3 of the milk. Couldn't be any worse, and this is how he ends it. I am now faced with 2 plastic containers of the stuff, and only my wife and I to get through it. We like where we live, so we won't be sharing it with the neighbours. So funny.
Within a minute of you reading that, I've created a full narrative of him and his life.
I love it. Just him and his wife pootling around the kitchen. It sounds like heaven.
Double Bay or something with no kids.
Yes. What about this one? Hearty beef casserole. I'm really in the mood for one of these too, by the way, so I might clip this recipe and try it later. 2 stars, says user blah, 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 blah. If you change all the quantities and ingredients, then it becomes a nice little casserole. If you keep them as is, it's just food. Wasn't an exciting meal, but it fed us. I'm going to call that a win.
Seriously.
If something comes out and it's edible, bang, dinner done.
Also, a casserole's not super exciting or like lavish anyway. What do you expect? It is just food. A casserole is just food.
It is just food, but how delicious is a casserole with some mash or some rice? Yum. And let's finish with these Impossible lemon bars. I want to take you through a couple of the key ingredients here. 1 cup of white sugar. That's a lot.
That means it's yum.
Yes, and like half of one of those sticks of butter, right?
Right,
so
okay.
2 of the best.
A sometimes food, if you will.
Yes. Wes says, my wife and I are both diabetics. So we probably shouldn't be eating food like this.
No, you shouldn't, Wes.
But I bet it was delicious, Wes.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
I have been scouring my favourite website.
Chrissy's Taste.com. You made it
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
The strawberry doesn't go in the fish risotto. In Taste.com.
Oh, that opener is back from the days when we had budget. Many years ago. Big shout out to Desi who sang that. They're from a time gone by, isn't it?
Right.
So taste.com.au is your one-stop shop for all recipes and also for all amazing reviews from people that follow the recipe in their own mind and then it doesn't work out and it's because they haven't followed the recipe at all.
And they get angry in the comments
They
section.
get so angry. Let's start here. The delicious moist lemon cake recipe. Standard ingredients in there. There's caster sugar, lemon rind, 4 eggs, self-raising flour, fresh lemon juice, zesty.
Yum.
Watson vein, 2 stars out of 5. This was way too oily, which I think they are calling moist. I'm not the most experienced baker. I followed the recipe to the gram and I was very disappointed. It's now in the front yard feeding the crows. Lucky crows.
Seriously.
I will not bake again. Now, the thing is, Watson, there is no oil in this cake. There is no oil. Having said that, there is butter, which probably counts. And there is a lot of butter, which, frankly, I like in a cake.
Required.
Let's move on to the classic basil pesto recipe, which is essentially, I don't even have to look at this. I know what's in basil pesto. Lots of basil, lots of pine nuts, lots of Parmesan cheese, garlic and oil, and mwah, chef's kiss. Tassie Devil says, I've just finished making this and it's amazing, but I had to adjust it a bit because I didn't have any olive oil. So I just used canola oil. Ouch. And it still tastes great. I also added some salt. Definitely recommend this recipe. P.S. I didn't use 5 cups of oil. I just kind of added the oil as I needed it. Now, 5 cups. Do you know how much that is?
That is a lot of oil.
1.25 litres.
Surely that's not what the pesto requires.
Well, Shazza read Tassie Devil's review and she goes, the recipe says 5 tablespoons of oil. 5 tablespoons is very different to 5 cups. Let's go with this one. This was one, not technically taste.com.au, but I loved it. I found this one on Insta. There was this amazing air fryer salmon recipe. It looks great. That's what you could do in your air fryer, my darling.
I know. I don't have one, though.
Tiffy Cooks says, 20 minutes only, air fry, creamy miso salmon. And she makes this amazing mayonnaise that goes with it. And Just Kathy Lee says, I don't like mayo. Is there a substitute ingredient I can use? Now, Just Kathy Lee, I just want to say to you, if you don't like mayo, this is not new to you. You've known for a long time you don't like mayo.
Correct.
Surely you've cared enough about your preferences to have worked out a substitute before seeing Tiffy Cook's 20-minute salmon bake.
Also, what's not to like about mayo?
I mean, I love mayo, but if I didn't, I would have made a combo of like sour cream and lemon juice and some salt and pepper. And that's
Yeah.
what I would use every time they said mayo.
What a bland life.
Be better, Just Kathy Lee. Easy pumpkin soup. I've got 2 more. Easy pumpkin soup recipe. 5 stars. Janice says,
Janice Ian.
this is beautiful. It doesn't even need pumpkin. Now, let me tell you, if an easy pumpkin soup recipe does not have pumpkin, it's called stock.
Yeah.
It's called just stock cube and water.
And would taste awful.
And let's just finish with this one on the buttercream icing. What is better than buttercream icing? Not much, I suggest.
I want a cupcake now.
Oh, so would I. Megatron says, yo, what's up, homies? This recipe is totes sick as. I recommended it to all the sick surfers and skaters out there.
Someone had the munchies.
Absolutely.
Now check this out.
The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.